this time. Here we are live on my YouTube channel after a couple of weeks where we missed our weekly live Beyond the Pain. And as you can see, it's only Ken Rode and me. Irene is still not able to make it back with us, but we wanted to do our best actually to come on my YouTube channel. So thank you, Ken, for being always very flexible and understanding. And thank me as well, because I am very flexible too. I do some brain stretching all day long. And I do also many different things. But I think that it is important to go live and let people know, let the world know that if you're suffering and you're looking for some non-invasive solutions, you are watching the right video, because we can give you some advice and some solutions. What do you want to start with, Ken?
Well, let's start with the, we have a patch called Kick It. And
here it is.
I never thought myself that I needed to kick any kind of habits. But what I'm finding is that a whole bunch of people on my team are using the patch, and it's making, they described it as it's helping them control certain impulses. One person talked about how they perceive life. They get mad all the time at stuff, and it like really bothers them, and they don't want that portion of themselves in their life. And using the Kick It patch, they were actually don't find the urge to get mad at every little thing anymore. So I thought that was incredibly interesting, and made me want to try it myself. I was like, well, what can I
okay, so you have never tested it before? You never thought about trying it? Okay, well,
no.
I am very curious for you to come back in a week or two, whenever you feel that you want to share your feedback, because this is one of my favorite super patches, with the peace and the joy, because since I finished my RTT training, so we have the VTT, Vibrotactile Trigger Technology, but I am also an RTT practitioner. That means rapid transformational therapy. Yeah. I am a non-clinical, in Italy, I am a non-clinical hypnotherapist. And during that training, I was confirmed in what I already knew, but now it's really, it says it all about this one, that you cannot change a habit of action if you don't change first a habit of thoughts. And this is why this one is so powerful. Yes, the package, they mark on the packet that it helps you change habits, but starting from your habits of thoughts. So this is why I think this patch, Kick It, is so powerful, because our mind, when you want to stop, for instance, you want to stop smoking, or you want to stop drinking, you want to stop whatever, watching too much TV, or scrolling too much your screens, social media scrolling, and you can try for a certain amount of money to avoid that action. But if you don't change what triggers you in your mind, if you don't change the thoughts that brought you, that led to having that habit, it's going to go back. And it's actually what I attended, I don't know if you were there too, in Canada, United States, there are some therapists that are doing some Zoom calls from time to time. And they, like a few months ago, before summer, I attended this incredible call where there are a couple of psychologists, psychotherapists, and energy healers as well, who were saying incredible feedbacks from their clients or patients using Liberty and Kick It together and seeing beautiful, beautiful results, and people going back to a quality of life that was really not even, how do you say this in English? They couldn't even imagine that they could go back to such a quality of life.
How incredibly how incredibly interesting. That makes a lot of sense to me. As they were talking to me about it, it was like they described it as it was breaking their pattern of how they were thinking, just as you said, and thereby reacting less because the pattern was broken. So to me, that was amazingly exciting.
Yeah,
So, and as you talked, that verified that through psychology, through hypnosis, through that it's a pattern interruption. It seems
yeah,
like
yeah. It's a neuropath
absolutely.
interrupter, actually. This is how I can describe it now. And the amazing thing is that we have this so extraordinary, such extraordinary technology that can help you, because you have to be aware of wanting you have to be willing to change. Okay, you cannot patch this on someone who is not even aware that they should improve certain habits. But if the person is willing to go through the change and take actions in the right way, with this one, they can go through the weakening of the strong neuropath and building up the new neuropath effortlessly, almost. I would say effortlessly, completely, but I don't want to exaggerate. Otherwise, uh, people could think, oh, yeah, yeah, she is, making the slogan advertisement. But everybody's different. Everybody has got their own response times. But still, you're helping your brain to get optimized. And by helping your brain to be optimized, you're helping yourself to think better and to act better, which is powerful.
Yes, it seems like it's just another tool in the toolbox of holistic health, to being aware of what's going on, wanting to do something about it, but it gives you a tool that helps you get to that level.
Yeah,
So that
absolutely.
just
And
amazing.
because we are here now, and we are not professional. I want to outline this. We are not video makers. We are not really used to go and produce certain contents, but we are just here to share. But I want Ken, and then I will also tell you a little bit, what do you do in life and why are you so passionate about this technology as I am?
Absolutely. You know, the technology has really changed my life. I've been a massage therapist, esthetician for close to 3 decades, and
Hmm.
I found Super Patch kind of through a strange pathway. Back in 2021, I ended up in the hospital with the virus that was plaguing the world at that time. And when I ended up in ICU, they gave me 3 to 5 hours to live. And, I looked at my doctor and said to her, I said, "Do you believe in miracles?" And I don't know if she actually answered me or not, but I said, "That's not going to happen." And
Hmm.
she leaned in and whispered really softly that, "No, you're going to die in a few days." And I said, "Nope, I'm going to be your first miracle." And that was almost 4 years ago. And it was a
And this
struggle. I
is
came I
this is
came
an
home.
example, Ken.
Yeah,
This is an example of habit of thoughts. Different
exactly.
examples, one after another.
Absolutely. And I came home after 3 months of being in the hospital, and I was in a wheelchair. I was on oxygen 24/7. I couldn't walk up the stairs by myself.
But
My
you were
life,
alive. You
yeah,
lasted more than three
life
days,
was
few
pretty much
days.
over, though. I mean, I didn't, not only was that happening, but there's a certain depression that happens because of that, because, you went from an incredibly active life to not being able to go to the bathroom or take a shower by yourself, and that was crazy. I mean, a lot happened in a 3-year period where I did energetic healing and did things, and I improved during that 3 years. But for the last year and a half, I had plateaued out of that. And so it was better, but I still needed oxygen. I still had trouble walking up and down the stairs. And then was introduced to super patch technology, and I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. As a massage therapist, I knew that touch, physical touch connected stuff in your mind. So it made sense to me, but I was like skeptical. But a friend sent me patches, and within a half hour or an hour of actually putting them on, I felt a difference. I felt a shift in my balance and my stability, um, pain reduction. Uh, I even started breathing better, and to me that was amazing. So like I was sold on the technology and felt obligated to share it with clients, friends,
Yeah.
family, anybody that would listen. And now I walk around in the real world without the oxygen tank, without the walker and the wheelchair.
Now you
Um,
go full in for push-ups and whatever challenge there
yeah,
is, you are there first in
it
line.
it's been this amazing journey,
Yeah.
and it also gave me the ability to share with other people, and to, as a physical therapist, as a hands-on therapist, there's only so much you can do with a person because you see them once a week, once a month, twice a year.
Yeah.
And what happens all the gaps in between? So this was a way of being able to help clients uh,
Mm.
get back to their own homeostasis in their body, without even physically being there. And I have massage therapist friends who say, "Well, isn't that taking away from your business?" And I say, "No, because it sets me aside from some of the people that are out there just doing it for the money. I'm doing it for people's health and their wealth and their happiness."
Well-being. Yeah,
So that's what
absolutely.
makes me passionate. So long story to be passionate, but that's what makes
Yeah.
me so
And
passionate.
that's why we enjoy sharing together, because we have the same kind of approach. Yeah. And so now I will resume very shortly what I do in life, but I also like um, helping people in find uh, non-invasive and effective solutions. My story is a bit longer and I will make it very short. I didn't find the super patches or the vibrotactile technology when I really, really, really needed over. Now it's going to be, I think, 20, soon it's going to be 28 years ago when I first had my accident. I needed to go through different lessons. And then in 2023, Europe was open and we could receive this technology. And I found out about it. And I have had such amazing results. When you said I started breathing better, it was the first thing actually that I noticed. Because of my back damage in the upper part of my back, I couldn't really breathe properly anymore. I was a professional ballet dancer, and my back completely broke because a muscle detached from the upper spine, breaking a couple of vertebrae. But the physios, the masseurs, and the doctors that were taking care of us in the Finnish National Opera House in Helsinki didn't understand actually what had happened. And they told me I had a cramp. I looked like a hunchback, so I had an egg popping out of my back on the left side. And they told me it's a cramp. They didn't really treat it. They didn't really do much, just heating it up because it would give me some pain relief. I was paralyzed for a couple of weeks. I was completely paralyzed and bent on one side because I couldn't, my muscles were all contracted so much that I couldn't breathe properly anymore. And then luckily, I must say luckily, after 2 weeks, I was anyway able to regain some vertical position with my spine, but still I had to stop dancing, okay? And then my life changed completely. And luckily, I say all the time, it changed because then I understood what it means to take care of your body, to take care of this precious temple that sometimes we really don't take care of. And I was not taking care of it at all. And maybe my body was giving me signals, but I wasn't listening. I was just performing. I just knew that my body was going to do whatever I wanted it to do, but without having the good thinking approach, the good mindset. So at one point, after many signals, that was the very strong signal that made my life turn around completely and really understand that actually well-being is much better than having to recover from some accident or some whatever thing that can happen to you in life. So I started a journey of trainings, first to help myself, to support myself, and then I understood how to also support others more and more. So when I found out about this technology, I laughed. I had gone through trainings with Qigong, you know, breathing. I am a breathing breathwork coach, but also about Dian Chan, facial reflexology. So I also should have known better that by touching certain points and even by breathing in a certain way, you stimulate your nervous system in different ways. But when I was told the first time, it was not possible. In my brain and in my mind, I could not imagine that by touching yourself, by putting something on your skin that has got nothing else than some pattern, you could optimize your brain. So I started watching a lot of videos, I started reading a lot, and I started asking questions to all the many people in Canada and United States who were already using this technology before me. They were very kind, they answered me a lot, and this is how I started using it. And it was really, the first thing I noticed was the breathing. And for me, it was a miracle. I teach other people how to breathe properly, and I couldn't breathe anymore properly because of that accident. And now not only I can breathe properly, but I can also move better. I have been recovering since the first patch I put on with Liberty. Actually, it's not about the kick. It, for my situation, it was more about liberty and victory that made this amazing recovery. And yeah, and now, you know, I integrate that with my activities and also with hypnotherapy, because hypnotherapy goes and works out the subconscious mind. But with this technology, we can optimize our brain. So I am really grateful for being curious and wanting to try things. And lately with Irene and Ken, we are saying, try to prove us wrong. Come and try this technology as it's meant to be used and prove us wrong. And there is only a 5% that maybe can prove us wrong. The 95%, the remaining 95% is going to have beautiful improvements and by just optimizing your brain, just. So yeah, I think that for today, that's, oh no, it's not all actually, Ken, because there is something that I wanted to share with you and with the people who are going to watch our video also in the future. So today is the 3rd of November. And on the 1st of November, so 2 days ago, last Saturday, I was in Bologna because we had this national Super Patch event, annual Super Patch event in Italy. And I had the opportunity to translate our European director. Actually, he's not the European director. He's EMEA, I think it's called. And it means Europe, Middle East, and Asia. So he is managing all these countries that maybe Europe is already packed, but then there are all the Asians and the Middle Eastern countries that will follow in the future. And he was really telling us some interesting things. So Ken, if you are patient with me, I will share what I translated, and because it is important about how he managed to meet Jay. He received a phone call by a friend of his, and this friend said, you know, I have met somebody and I think that you would be very interested in speaking with him. And he has already been in this field for many, many decades. He was a previous professional football player. And then he started working also as a network marketing entrepreneur. So he was always busy because he was very successful. But he said, okay, I just had 1 hour to waste. And I decided to call this guy. And it was Jay. And the guy, so he called Jay Dhaliwal in Toronto. And Jay Dhaliwal explained him a little bit what was all about this technology. And he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand. So Jay told him, you know, if you're willing to come to Toronto, I will buy you a ticket and you will come to Toronto and I will explain you more. And he said, yeah, okay, get me a ticket and we'll get in touch. But I think half an hour later, he got the ticket for Toronto from Jay. So the day after, he was flying to Toronto and he met Jay. And then Jay did the test on him. And he still didn't understand what was going on. He understood that there was something made of plastic. He kept saying, there is something made of plastic that has got nothing on it. And it optimizes my stability, my strength, and my balance just like this. And I don't understand. So he kept asking Jay, but why? How does it work? How does it work? So Jay told him, please close your eyes. And he put a pen in his hand and asked him, what do you have in your hand? And he could guess, of course, because the hand knows what you have in your hand, even if your eyes are closed. And Jay said, this is how it works. You don't need to open your eyes to know, because it's about the skin receptors, the skin that is informing your brain, and your brain tells you what you are touching. So it's all about touch. And then from there on, they trusted each other. And, you know, Europe has been a tsunami. It's been something that they couldn't expect. actually, he considers himself, he said, and I translated him, so it's not that I'm inventing it, you know. He said, you know, Sabrina, there was the whole room full of people, he said, tell them that I am quite successful and actually I am a genius. So when Jay asked me, how much do you think that we have to provide for Europe? I did some calculations and I said $5 million products will be more than enough from May, June to the end of 2023. And it really, he wasn't expecting for more, but actually the $5 million that were provided in products for Europe to last till the end of the year finished in 4 weeks. And then Jay called him and he said, you are really a genius. That was really funny. So he had told Jay, you know, I'm a genius. I'm very expert on this. And I will do the calculation and I will come back to you and I will tell you the exact amount of product that we need from June until the end of the year. And Jay was laughing at him because nobody was expecting actually that Europe would have this massive demand, and the expectations were not so high, you know. So yeah, this is very interesting, I think, to know, because it's just the beginning for the people to know. We are hundreds of millions in Europe, and there are hundreds of millions of people in Canada and the United States. And yes, there are already a bunch of millions of people using this technology, but there are billions of people who are still not using this technology. And we can just be very happy to be here sharing this with other people. And I totally agree with him when he says it's about team work. Even if you don't belong to the same team, it's about finding people with whom you can really create collaboration. And this is all about. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, we're not doctors. We don't prescribe anything. We can't make medical claims on anything, but it's like, it's this interesting little tool that helps us reconnect with what our body already knows and how to heal. So it's just a tool to use that, you know, if we increase our energy by just a few percent, that gives us a different quality of life, a different path. I love it. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. So now I think that it is the end. Thank you again, Ken. Thanks for sharing again with me. And we will try our best to be back with our weekly appointment, okay? Hoping that we don't get so much busy that we can't. But you can connect with us. I will always put the description and links for you to be able to either schedule a Zoom call or connect with us on our whatever social media profile. And you can share this content on my YouTube channel. It's a very tiny little YouTube channel, and I ask people to support me become more and more visible. As I speak 3 languages, the YouTube algorithm get a bit confused. So my content gets a bit lost because it's sometimes Italian, sometimes it's English, and sometimes it's French. But I keep doing it because I think that it's important for many people to hear about this technology in every language I know. So leave a comment, connect with us, and subscribe to my channel.